Yeah, hi there. This is Michael from the 7-step system to pass the TOEFL IBT, and I'm going to use the first letter of your first and last name, ID. Interesting, ID. So let me talk to you for just a minute here. Hey, thank you for your email. You took a lot of time to put this information in here. I appreciate that. And students who take a lot of time to tell me about themselves and about their goals and things, I'm going to take some time to talk to you right now. So let's take a look at what you said, and then I'll try to give you some information to help answer your questions. So you say, "Hello, Michael. A few minutes ago I found it online, your beautiful YouTube suggestions about the 7-step system, TOEFL study guide, and lots of useful information about the TOEFL on better TOEFL scores. I love it. Thank you." Then you said, "At the beginning, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. 45 years old, and guess what? I'm 46. You say bachelor's degree, education, Slavic linguistics from Ukraine, Lviv University. You live in Toronto now, and you need to get a 7 on the IELTS, WOW, or 103 from the TOEFL, which are required by your school in Toronto." So you say, "I feel it could have gotten a much higher score, but their evaluation system is so tricky, and it keeps all the contestants on lower marks." You said, "This is total brainwash business. You cannot imagine how frustrated I am. I know I'm not perfect in English, but my inner instincts say I can make it. Unfortunately, there are lots of different aspects which make that test so difficult." So you say, "As a linguist, can you tell me if I have a chance to get a 103 from the TOEFL or not? So what would you suggest in my case? I have no clue how difficult or different the TOEFL is from the IELTS. The most afraid I am in the TOEFL speaking to a computer. I hate this. I need to be prepared for the next TOEFL test ASAP. I'm thinking of taking it on May 5th, 2012. This is my last chance." All right, let me take a minute to talk to you here. Can you get 103? Your IELTS score is looking pretty good. You didn't get exactly what you wanted, but I mean, your speaking was 6.5. Your writing was 6.0. You're getting killed right now in the listening and the reading. That's it. That's your hard part right now, right? So you're doing a little bit better in the speaking and the writing areas and not quite as good in the listening and the reading. But you can get 103. I'm telling you, ID, is I have students every month at my service who get over 100. In fact, I just had somebody last month get 112. I also had somebody a couple months before get, over 100. I think it was a 109. But anyway, for you, you can get 103, but the question is, can you get that score within 30 days? Now, I cannot answer that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know how hard you're willing to work. The only two things I know, I'm going to be honest with you, is I know I'm going to die at some point in my life, unfortunately. I know I have to pay taxes. This is a saying in American culture, ID. We say the only sure things we know in life are death and taxes. So for you, I'm very careful not to make any predictions. However, if you work hard, I'm confident that you can get over 100. I'm confident you can get 103. I don't know if you can do it in 30 days. And remember that a lot of my students, they actually use my service sometimes as many as 3 or 4 months. And because it's actually quite inexpensive, it's not breaking their bank or burning a hole in their wallet in the meantime. Because remember, my service is quite inexpensive. But I'll tell you this, as long as you're one of my students, look at me right here, as long as you're one of my students, whenever you post a speaking or writing practice test, I will get it scored usually within 24 hours. It doesn't matter if you're a student for 1 month, if you're a student for 2 months or 3 months, I will score as many of the writing and the speaking practice tests as you submit. Also, when you do your pronunciation practice test and you're working on improving your pronunciation, I will also give you feedback in those areas as well. I can help you. You know that my system is organized around 7 key areas: vocabulary, pronunciation, grammar, reading, listening, writing, and speaking. So really, what's interesting is it doesn't really matter if you want to take the IELTS or the TOEFL. My 7-step system will help you for all of those exams. Now, I'll tell you that my speaking and my writing practice tests are modeled after the TOEFL. I will tell you that. But what my 7-step system does is it improves your academic English proficiency. I have students every month, they don't even need TOEFL. They just take my service or use my service to improve their English proficiency. They want to communicate better at their job, or they want to communicate better at the university and their classes, so they use my system to achieve both of those results. And a majority of my students, obviously, they want to get really high scores like you on the TOEFL, so they also subscribe to my services. So at this point, I'd like to invite you, ID, to become one of my newest students. I really appreciate you taking the time to contact me and to ask me a little bit about my service, and I sincerely hope from the bottom of my heart that you can put the TOEFL behind you. I know it's frustrating. Nobody wants to take a TOEFL test over and over and get beaten down. You can do this. You can beat it. We can beat the TOEFL together. The question is, how hard are you willing to work? Because if you go through 330 of my TOEFL lessons in those 7 steps, and you follow my suggestions and advice, you are going to get better. And that's a fact. All right? Anyway, thank you very much, and all the best to your high-scoring TOEFL success.